If Nintendo does exactly what this video says, the successor to the Nintendo Switch will be the best-selling console ever. I already made a video about what the perfect Nintendo Switch 2 would be, but you can't have a successful console without the games. So let's build the perfect launch lineup for the Nintendo Switch 2. Before we get into it, make sure you check out all the links below. I have a Discord server and a bunch of other socials, so check them out. But let's get into this. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the best-selling game on the Nintendo Switch, and it's still selling very well even 5 years after the launch and 8 years after the initial launch of Mario Kart 8. I believe in this fiscal year alone, which the only data we have is for the first 3 months, it has already sold 3 million copies. I'm sure it sold a lot more over the holidays, and we're still getting DLC in the next year. So I don't believe that we're going to see another installment of Mario Kart on the Nintendo Switch. So my number one launch title for the Nintendo Switch 2 is Mario Kart 9. We all know that Mario Kart sells, and it would move a ton of units if you have a Mario Kart 9 or some type of Mario Kart at the launch of the successor to the Switch. It would probably even outpace the sales of the console alone, similar to what Breath of the Wild did. And since it's Mario Kart, it would probably be even better than what Breath of the Wild did. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is 5 years old at this point, and the initial Mario Kart 8 launch on the Wii U was 8 years old at this point, so there's no doubt in my mind that there has been teams working on whatever the next Mario Kart is, whether it be Mario Kart 9 or something completely different that we haven't seen, but still in the Mario Kart vein. There is something in the works. I think Nintendo is holding it back because they really don't need to launch another Mario Kart title on the Nintendo Switch since Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is selling so well. Like I said, it's almost at 50 million units sold at this point, and we're still getting DLC, which keeps getting better and better with each wave. So I don't see why they would even consider releasing the next installment of Mario Kart when they could just hold it, wait until the next thing comes out, and use that to boost the sales of the Nintendo Switch 2. Let's stick with Mario. I think another great launch title would be some type of mainline Mario game. Mario Odyssey is like 5 years old at this point. We haven't seen a new 2D Mario since New Super Mario Bros. U. I know they did a deluxe version on the Switch, but New Super Mario Bros. U on the Wii U is 10 years old at this point, and we haven't seen a 2D Mario since then. 2023 is going to be huge for the Mario property. We have the theme park coming out in February, then we have the movie coming out in April, and I would have to believe that they're going to release some type of game to build off of that hype of the movie and off of the theme park. It just seems like a missed opportunity for them not to do that. So I'm thinking we'll probably get some type of Mario game in 2023 on the Nintendo Switch. Now here is what I think they should do. 2D Marios and 3D Marios used to release kind of in tandem, alternating years, but they would still release a 2D Mario and then a 3D Mario within a year or two of each other. So what I think they should do in 2023 to ride off the hype of the Mario movie and the theme park, we get a brand new 2D Mario game. It will still sell a lot of units because New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe sold 10 million copies on the Switch, and people don't even like that game. Now that's the 2D Mario to build off the hype of the movie and the amusement park, but I think they should release a 3D Mario at the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I don't really care what kind of 3D Mario you get, whether it be like an Odyssey 2, because there was rumors of DLC that we never got. Maybe they put it into its own game, or like a Super Mario Galaxy 3, I think would be really cool to see in a full-blown HD game, or something completely different. I love how Nintendo tends to surprise us with their 3D Mario games, so Nintendo, do whatever you can, but just hopefully we get a new 3D Mario at the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. Similar to what I said with Mario Kart, Mario Odyssey is now 5 years old, so I highly doubt that they spent this 5-year period not working on any type of Mario game. There's a rumor that that team was working on a Donkey Kong game, but we haven't seen anything about that either. So I'm hoping we either see some type of Donkey Kong game or a new Mario game out of that team, and put it at the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. Having a brand new Mario Kart and a brand new 3D Mario would already guarantee the success of the launch of the successor to the Nintendo Switch. But let's talk about some more things I think they should do. I made a video asking, where the heck is Wind Waker HD? I don't understand why that has not been ported to the Nintendo Switch alongside Twilight Princess HD. Now, Tears of the Kingdom is coming out in 2023, And there's a rumor of a Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch OLED, so I doubt that we will get a Nintendo Switch 2 or a successor to the Nintendo Switch 2 in 2023. So we will not have a mainline Zelda game at the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. So to satisfy those fans that want a Zelda game at the launch, why not just put Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD at the launch? In my Building the Perfect Nintendo Switch video, I talked about backwards compatibility. So if they have backwards compatibility with a cross-generational launch, they could have people buy Wind Waker HD or Twilight Princess HD on the Nintendo Switch, and then when they upgrade to the successor, they could just play that game on there. Now, if we don't see Wind Waker HD or Twilight Princess HD, I still think that we need some type of Zelda game, and we have not seen a top-down Zelda game, at least a new one, since A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS. I know we had Link's Awakening on the Nintendo Switch, but we haven't had a brand new top-down Zelda game since A Link Between Worlds. Just like Mario, they used to release a top-down Zelda game and a 3D Zelda game, so they might be working on something. Maybe another remake of like the Oracle games, or even Minish Cap. That would be alright as well, or something completely different. That would be cool. I just think a top-down Zelda game would work really well for a launch. It would build off the hype of Tears of the Kingdom, and you have a Zelda game at launch. That would work great. Now, the next things might be, a little out there, but here we go. I would love to see a sequel to ARMS. I actually really enjoyed the time that I spent with it. It was fun to play online with friends. It had a great online party system. Yeah, there wasn't a ton of content, and it got completely obliterated when Splatoon 2 came out, but the characters were really cool, and I would love to see what they could do with the sequel. I would love to see a story mode, some more content, new characters, like a battle pass system. They could do a lot with that IP. I think they could make it work. It's just unfortunate how it got treated on the Nintendo Switch. I would love to see another Nintendo Land. Now, if you don't know, Nintendo Land was a Wii U title. It was a pack-in for the more expensive Wii U. It had all these little mini games. It was essentially a tech demo for the Wii U. Now, I understand why they didn't bring it from the Wii U to the Switch, because it had a lot of gamepad stuff that you just can't do on the Nintendo Switch. But I would love to see what they would do with the IP for the Nintendo Switch. They could add more mini games now that they have Splatoon. They have a couple of other IP that weren't included in Nintendo Land. It would be really cool to see what they would do. It kind of could be like a Mario Party, but with all of the Nintendo IP. They could even make it a pack-in. Bring pack-ins back. Like it or not, the Pokemon series is the best-selling series on the Nintendo Switch. So if you want to have a successful console, you're going to have some type of Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch 2. Who knows if it's a new generation or a spin-off game like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Maybe we'll finally see that Let's Go Johto, or we'll see a successor to Pokemon Legends Arceus, or we'll have another remake. But the Pokemon series just sells like hotcakes. Anything that has the Pokemon name on it will sell units, it will sell consoles, it will just sell. So if you want the Nintendo Switch 2 to be successful, you should put something on for Pokemon. Now, it might not be the best running game. We all know how Scarlet and Violet turned out, even though I love those games, but they just don't run well. So hopefully, if we get a more powerful console, they can figure out how to make better performing games. We know the Pokemon Company churns out games like no other company that I can think of at this point. So I don't see it being that hard to release a game in 2024 if or whenever this console comes out. The last thing I want to see is some new IP. We have not seen new IP from Nintendo in a while. The last thing we got was Ring Fit Adventure. And that game, I have nothing against that game. It's fun to play. It's a nice play on their Fit series. Then we had ARMS, which I already talked about, how it was okay, but they could expand upon that world. The characters were great. I would love to see what they do with a sequel, like I said. Their biggest success story in recent memory is Splatoon. That is one of their top franchises at this point, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's only 7 years old. We're already on the third iteration, and it's already was the fastest selling game in Japan in the year, I believe. And none of us were expecting Nintendo to make a shooter like that has some complex movement and a ton of customization. And it just came out of nowhere, and it was awesome. It was great. So that's what I want to see from Nintendo. I don't have any suggestions of what type of game I want to see. I really want to put it into their hands, because they are the magicians. They know what we want, even though we don't know what we want. So I would love to see a new IP. That would be great. One of the big factors of the Nintendo Switch's launch success is because they had a game every single month of the launch year. They started it with Breath of the Wild in March, then they had Mario Kart in April, they had ARMS, they had Splatoon 2, they had Mario plus Rabbids, they had Mario Odyssey. So it was a huge success because they had a game every single month of launch. I think the successor to the Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo Switch 2 can do that. They could launch it with Mario Kart 9, which I believe will be as big, if not bigger, than the launch of Breath of the Wild. Then you have Mario later in the year for the holidays, or Pokemon later in the year for the holidays, Zelda a month after. They could spread their titles out, but what they really need to have to make this console successful is content. That is what killed the Wii U. There was long droughts. They did not have the support that they needed at launch. I know there was marketing issues, but there was also a lot of droughts, a lot of gaps. So if the Nintendo Switch 2 is to be successful, they need content. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see on the Nintendo Switch 2. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you all next time.